Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Earthly Nutrition. Thank you so much for joining me once again today. Today I am sitting here in the cold drinking some hot tea and answering questions from you guys. So this one comes from Nina Summers, and I didn't bring the exact question with me, but I do remember that you were asking about green juicing and whether, I guess, my thoughts on green juicing. And I seem to remember you telling me that you didn't quite care for eating vegetables too much, and so you were wondering if green juicing would be a good alternative to get in more micronutrients, to micro-optimize your diet a little bit more. So for this video I wanted to go and kind of walk through how a green juice would be digested and absorbed, and sort of what sort of advantages and disadvantages that you could have by drinking green juices. So first of all, what is a green juice? You're taking some vegetables, you're putting it in a juicer, or maybe you're blending it and then putting it in a mason jar with some cheesecloth. Basically, you are detaching the fiber from the vegetables. And in the case of green juices, you'd probably be using some leafy greens as well. So, you have your green juice in front of you, and you're gonna drink it. It's going into your stomach. It's in your stomach now. So because there's no fiber, you're not going to find this very filling, and it's definitely not going to remain in the stomach for very long because there's nothing that really needs to happen there. Vegetables have a little bit of protein, they have a little bit of fat, they have carbohydrates, and they have a lot of fiber and vitamins and minerals. So you're taking away the fiber, and you're left with something that is very nutrient dense, for sure. But because there's no fiber, it's not going to distend the walls of your stomach, so it's not going to make you feel full. And because there's no fiber, there's nothing to slow down digestion. And fast is not always better when it comes to digestion. We need the right amount of time to be able to absorb things properly, otherwise they're just going to go through us, and it's kind of like wasting your money on food if you're not fully absorbing what's in it. So the contents of the green juice are going to be in the small intestine, and again, because there's no fiber, these things are going to be absorbed either really rapidly or just continue on their way, kind of on their way out of you. Another thing that would happen in the small intestine, that maybe wouldn't be such a good thing, is that if you're just drinking vegetable juice and nothing else, then how are those fat-soluble vitamins going to be absorbed? When we consume fats with fat-soluble vitamin-rich foods, we see an increase in absorption because these vitamins require fat to be packaged into a little lipoprotein, and then they are absorbed, go through the lymphatic system, circulation, and all that kind of stuff. But if there's no fats in this green juice, then how is that going to happen? These vitamins are not going to be absorbed to their full potential. So you could do a green juice, and you could make sure that there's a source of fat in it. You could blend up, a little bit of an avocado. You could do some chia seeds to get your omega-3 fatty acids. You could do flaxseed. Obviously, these types of seeds will make it a little bit thicker, so it's going to be a little bit of a thicker drink. It might be kind of gross, which is why I kind of am more a fan of smoothies, and I'll talk about that soon. But yeah, so small intestine, we have to think about the fat-soluble vitamins, and then just the fact that the lack of fiber makes everything travel so quickly that they might not, the nutrients may not be absorbed to their full potential. And so now we're moving along, and we're in our large intestine, our colon, and this is where our symbiotic organisms, our microbiotics, live. And I would guess they're probably going to be like, what the hell, where's our fiber? Because, of course, these fibers are prebiotics. They feed the bacteria that are currently living there. So you're kind of ripping them off too, because, they love fiber. They digest these indigestible carbohydrates for us. And their metabolic products that they make after they eat these fibers, they can really provide benefits for our own cells. And so, what are the advantages of green juicing? Well, Nina mentioned that she felt like it would be a good alternative because she's not a fan of eating too many vegetable-focused meals. Maybe she doesn't like soups or salads or whatever. And I'll get around to that. But first of all, the fact that you are wanting to make improvements to your diet to make it more microdense is such a good starting point. Like, props to you. That's awesome. The thing about the microvore diet is that we're not just looking to eat microdense foods, we're also wanting it to be bioavailable and symbiotic, and so able to be absorbed and good for our bacteria. And so as we just talked about, it is microdense. You know, it's a very concentrated source of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, and water. You know, those things are really, really good. But they aren't really so good for bioavailability, as we talked about, so the fat-soluble vitamins may have a little bit harder time to be absorbed. And then just the nutrition in general, because it's traveling so fast because of the lack of fiber, there's less of an opportunity to draw out the nutrition and to really absorb and, you know, to put inside of our bodies. And then lastly, symbiotics. Is the food symbiotic if it doesn't have any fiber? I think getting in nutrients is going to benefit all cells, but definitely the fiber is so important for the cells of our large intestine. And they do so much good work for us. I think that it should really be a priority to give them the food that they like to eat and that they really thrive on, because they're going to pass on benefits to you. Like, that's a sure thing. So I hope you understand maybe why green juicing is not going to be something that you should rely upon to get in the nutrients that you need. I think that you could definitely do something like a green juice in accompaniment to a meal that maybe has more macronutrients, that has more fiber. And so, you know, to have a green juice with your meal, I think that's fine. That's probably a good idea. Another idea that you could do is a green smoothie. And so you're not detaching the fiber, but you're blending it up. You are dispersing it throughout, you know, this semi-liquid. Hopefully you're making them thick, because I think that's important. If you're able to eat it with a spoon, it spends more time in the mouth, it spends a little bit more time in the stomach, and this is always a good thing in my opinion, because we should always give our bodies enough time to properly absorb and utilize the nutrients that we're feeding it. We'll also give you different components in that smoothie that are going to help out with the bioavailability. For instance, the microsynergists, which are acidic foods and fat sources. So these are going to make your vitamins and minerals bioavailable. So that's good. And then the symbiotic portion is just having the fiber there. If you wanted to add a little bit of like live cultures into your smoothie, then that would also help. As far as not being a fan of eating vegetable dishes, I would really encourage you, Nina, to like just look around on the internet for like recipes that really appeal to you, because there's lots of different vegetables. There's lots of different foods out there, plant-based foods. And if it comes down to you just not enjoying the taste, then really look into dressing recipes and into sauces that you can use, because this really makes food enjoyable. You know, our tongue is so sensory. If we have a bunch of different herbs and spices and even some salts, if you like to add salt to your food, that's fine. We can really entertain our taste buds and also get in this microvore food. So I hope that you guys found that helpful. If you did, then remember to give a thumbs up for me and help me share it around. If you guys have any thoughts on green juicing, and if you personally drink green juices, or if you don't, then why, then let me know, let us know down below, and we'll get a little bit of a conversation going. If you guys want any information on the microvore diet, then as always, you can go to my website and look at the blueprints and the free downloads and that sort of thing. We have a Facebook group, so you can join that. You can follow me on Instagram, of course. And I think that is all for today. Thank you for joining me, guys. We'll see you next video, and have a great day. All right.